In the last few days, we've asked some questions of the Tamil Nadu government on why action has not been taken against the police. We've now accessed the clincher. And on Republic TV, we have a CCTV sequence running to about 4 to 5 minutes, starting 9:44 p.m. on the 19th of June. This is right outside Jairaj and Benix's shop. Let me play the video. Watch the video very carefully. This is the store. This is the store, Jairaj and Benix's store, and as of now you can see that there are some traders. I can see a fruit trader there, and then opposite the road there is a police vehicle. The white vehicle that you see here, that's the police vehicle, and you'll see that at some point Jairaj crosses the road and goes to meet the police. He crosses the road and goes towards the police van. And this is the situation. There are several auto rickshaws. There are several stores that are open. Even the video where this is shot, you'll see that there are pipes here. Seems like a hardware store. And at some point, Jairaj crosses the road. See, he crosses the road, goes towards the police. And, when he crosses the road, there is something happens there. Nothing is wrong as of now. Law and order situation is completely fine. Jairaj crosses the road. And then this man here starts closing his shop. He starts removing the hardware from outside the store. You'll see that he pulls out the pipes and the hardware items and keeps them inside the store to wind up the day. At 9:46 p.m. this is on the 19th of June. At some point there is commotion here because you'll see that people are looking towards the police van here. There is this fruit trader, seems like he's selling grapes there, looking towards the police van. At some stage, someone comes into the store here, a man enters the store, and there is some commotion. They realize perhaps that something is happening with the police. Look at this. 3 or 4 people come out, start peeping. Look at the commotion that's happening here outside the store on the opposite side. Benix then exits the... Let me go back and show you that once again. Let me go back. You'll see at some stage, Benix also exits the store. At some stage, people are inside the store and then Benix leaves the store. Look at this. Benix comes out. He comes out, he realizes Jairaj something is wrong, and then he crosses the road and goes towards the police van. More and more people realize that there's some commotion there. Perhaps the police at that stage had lost control of the situation and perhaps were raising their voice. There was a commotion there. But until they were called, everything was completely fine. This man is here, his store is still open. Look at this. He hasn't completely closed the store. And then there's complete commotion. Jairaj and Benix. Then, they start making some calls. They're back and they start making some calls. Everything is fine as of that minute. So this sequence proves that everything was fine and that the police picked them up for no reason and then tortured them in custody.
MK Kanimozhi, senior leader and MP from Tuticorin of the DMK, joining us on the show. We'll also have a representative from the AIA DMK with us very shortly. Rahul Ishwar, activist, is also joining us. Kanimozhi, I want to come to you first up. There are some glaring differences in the version of the police in the FIR and as we just broke down, the CCTV shows. And this raises even more grave questions on the conduct of the police. It isn't just about police brutality anymore. It is about an absolute abuse of power and possibly lying, which is perjury in the FIR.
This is exactly what the family has been saying right from the beginning, that there was no resistance from the side of Jairaj or Benix when the police called them. And we can clearly see in the footage that the father was arrested and taken away. The son comes back, calls up and most probably tells his family the father's been taken away and he's going to follow him to the police station. And he follows him to the police station. And over there, he is also taken into custody. And I don't understand why the FIR was fabricated. It looks like there is a clear motive and it was pre-planned. Otherwise, why would, people who haven't resisted arrest, and obviously other shops are open, and in spite of it, the first thing they said was they refused to close the shop. The other shops are open, so it is not that the time has exceeded either. And they've gone to the police station without resistance, and the police were saying that the injuries in the body is because of the resistance and they were rolling on the ground. That's
Yes.
not true. And when the son is also taken into custody, they've been brutally beaten and violently attacked, and father and son die. And the entire FIR is fabricated.
Yes.
And today the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has clearly taken a observed that in the police investigation, the Satankulam police station is not cooperating with the judicial magistrate. The judicial magistrate has informed the Madurai High Court that they're refusing to cooperate with them. So he has actually asked revenue officers to go and secure all the records and all the reports from them. And he has also observed that the autopsy report has not been filed as yet. So all these are clearly showing
Now, you
that
raised a very important question, Kanimozhi, that all of this seems to be pre-planned. Now, already the kind of brutality that has been alleged in this case, including sodomizing of the two men in police custody, is baffling. On top of that, if you now take into account the fact that the CCTV footage shows that there was no argument, that there is another shop that is open right next to theirs, now there are even more questions as to why such treatment, why such violent treatment was meted out to these two gentlemen. You're saying that this sounds pre-planned, but what could have been the motive? Has anything come to your attention? Why they were targeted?
No.
Because this seems like targeted.
No, I mean, nothing has really come out because there's no investigation. One simple question. The police higher officials, what will you do when there's a robbery or a theft? The first thing is you will check whether any CCTV footage is available. Why has this CCTV footage not been taken by the police? And today, why is it coming out in the media? So many days after the murder, this police have been taken the full CCTV footage. So this is the kind of investigation which is going on.
Right.
And how do we trust? And obviously when people don't resist and for no reason, two of them are taken into custody and killed. So obviously there must be some other reason behind it. It cannot, this looks clearly cold-blooded and pre-planned. And only a proper investigation can bring it to light.
And, you know, the way things have transpired also raises questions. They weren't given bail and 4 very serious sections were slapped against them. They weren't given there. They were remanded into custody. And as per procedure, was no medical done. Because between June 19 to June 22, when one of them was hospitalized, we don't know what happened.
No, they were taken to a doctor who actually was forced to give a fitness certificate. Then they were taken in front of a magistrate, and the jail authorities, before admitting both of them into the prison, have observed in their journal saying that the knees are swollen, they are bleeding from behind, and the wrists are hurt. So there are protocols in place which have been overlooked. So who had the authority?
But that brings in the judiciary under question too.
The doctor? Madam? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
But that brings in the judiciary or the judicial aspect also under question. Just because a doctor has given a certificate doesn't mean
that. Why did the doctor give a certificate that they're fit? Even if he was forced to do it, how can a doctor who actually, you take them to the doctor so that you make sure that they are healthy and they are fit enough to be sent into judicial custody? So all 3 checks and balances, they've been able to go over it. So what is the point in this?
And then that again,
the authority to do that.
No, then that again points to the fact that this is all pre-planned. There seems to be some sort of agenda against these two gentlemen, because that CCTV footage, Kanimozhi, as you're rightly saying, is just absolutely baffling. First of all, what is the real crime here? That you opened your shop a little bit longer? Now, during lockdown, we have been observing there are violations happening across the country. And of course, the police has to be very sensitive and sensible enough to manage the people, both the shop owners and the customers. But this is just gone beyond. And what is even more baffling is that the state government is talking about a CBI probe. Why don't they first probe what has happened? Is CBI probe just an excuse to shirk their own responsibility? Is the state government telling us that they can't probe this case?
Exactly, because the Chief Minister, even before the autopsy, he clearly said that the death was because of breathlessness. How can the Chief Minister, who's in charge of the police department, make a statement even before the post-mortem started? And then yesterday, a local minister says this is not a lock-up death. You cannot call it a lock-up death. So why is the administration, why is the government interfering with this investigation? It raises a lot of questions.
Yes.
And how will the people have confidence? When I spoke to the family, I visited the family twice. When I spoke to them, and the people who live around them also spoke to me. They said these people are, small-time traders, and they never got into any controversy with the police. They've never had any problems with the neighbors or the shopkeepers around them. So they're very simple people who keep to themselves.